Have you ever wondered that we are just a tiny speck in the entire universe comprised of 100 billion galaxies? Do you think that we could be alone in this vast universe? I think not. Hello everyone, and welcome. For today's video, we will lay down the 10 strongest signs of aliens in front of you and let you decide if aliens exist or not. For the signs to begin, make sure you have subscribed to our channel and dropped a thumbs up. And let's explore. The presence of extraterrestrial life has long been one of the main questions of science. Scientists have used explorations and telescopes to seek indirect signs of life, biosignatures, on other planets of our solar system and beyond. There are almost 500 billion planets in a Milky Way solely, and at least 10 billion of them are Earth-like. All these planets, and yet we discovered exactly 0 alien life forms. But what if we did? What if NASA announced the presence of aliens in the oceans of Europa or ancient alien ruins on Venus? Number 10. 2004, from the same region of space. In February 2003, astronomers began the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence (SETI) project. They used a massive telescope in Puerto Rico to re-examine 200 segments of the sky, which had all previously produced unexplained radio signals. All these signals disappeared, except for one which had become more powerful. The signal, extensively thought to be the best applicant up till now for an alien contact, comes from a spot amid the Pisces and Aries constellations, where there are no noticeable stars or planets. Curiously, the signal is at the same frequency as hydrogen, the most common element that absorbs and emits energy. Some astronomers have confidence that this is a very likely frequency at which aliens wish to be noticed and communicated. Nonetheless, there is also a good chance the signal is from a never-seen-before natural phenomenon. For example, a mysterious pulsed radio signal thought to be artificial in 1967 turned out to be the first ever detection of a pulsar. Number 9. 2004, methane in the Martian atmosphere hints at microbial metabolism. In 2004, 3 groups of scientists, using telescopes on Earth and the European Space Agency's Mars Express orbiting space probe, autonomously provided methane evidence in the atmosphere. Bacteria and other life produce nearly all methane in our atmosphere. Methane can also be generated by volcanism, the defrosting of frozen underground deposits, or carried by comet impacts. In January 2005, an ESA scientist controversially broadcasted that he had also found evidence of formaldehyde formed by methane oxidation. If this theory is proved, it will strengthen the case for microbes, as a whopping 2.5 million tons of methane per year would be required to create the quantity of formaldehyde hypothesized to exist. The discovery of a lake beneath the southern polar ice cap and methane in the Martian atmosphere makes Mars a very interesting life candidate. Methane is significant as biological processes can produce it, but the exact source for the methane on Mars is not yet known. There are ways to produce the presence of the gas, but scientists will first need to get the special equipment to Mars. It is possible that life may have grown a foundation given the evidence that the planet once had a much more favorable environment. Currently, Mars has a very thin, dry atmosphere containing carbon dioxide almost entirely. This offers slight protection from solar and cosmic radiation. If Mars has managed to retain some water reserves beneath its surface, it is not impossible that life may still exist. Number 8. 2003. Sulfur traces on Jupiter's moon Europa may be the waste products of underground bacterial colonies. Galileo Galilei discovered Europa in 1610, along with Jupiter's 3 other more giant moons. It is somewhat smaller than Earth's moon and orbits the Sun at a distance of some 670,000 kilometers once every 3.5 days. Europa is continuously squeezed and stretched by Jupiter's competing gravitational fields and the other Galilean moons, a method known as tidal flexing. The Moon is assumed to be a geologically active world, like the Earth, due to the strong tidal flexing blazes its rocky, metallic interior and keeps it partly molten. In 2003, Italian scientists hypothesized that sulfur traces on Europa might be a sign of alien life. the hypothesis was backed by further information. The compounds were first discovered by the Galileo space examination and evidence for a volcanically warmed ocean below the moon's icy crust. The sulfur signatures looked related to the waste products of bacteria, which get locked into the cover ice of lakes in Antarctica on Earth. The bacteria persist in the water below, and similar bacteria might also thrive underneath Europa's surface, the researchers suggest. Other experts rejected the idea, suggesting that the sulfur somehow originates from the neighboring moon, Io, where it is found in abundance. The surface of Europa is a vast area of water ice. Many scientists think that underneath the frozen surface is a layer of liquid water, a global ocean, which is blocked from freezing by the heat from flexing, and which may be over 60 miles, 100 kilometers deep. Some important evidence for this ocean's existence includes geysers erupting through cracks in the surface ice, a weak magnetic field, and a chaotic region on the surface, which could have been distorted by ocean currents swirling beneath. This icy shield protects the subsurface ocean from the extreme cold and vacuum of space, as well as Jupiter's fierce radiation belts. It is believable that we might find hydrothermal vents and ocean floor volcanoes at the bottom of this ocean realm. On Earth, such features usually support very rich and diverse ecosystems. Number 7. 2002. Chemical hints of life are found in old data from Venus probes and landers. Can microbes exist in Venusian clouds? In 2002, the astrobiologists from the University of Texas claimed that life in Venus's clouds might be the best way to resolve some curious anomalies in the composition of its atmosphere. They scoured some data from NASA's Pioneer and Magellan space probes and others from Russia's Venera-Venus lander missions of the 1970s. Solar radiation and lighting should be producing masses of carbon monoxide on Venus, yet it is limited, as though something, or should we say someone, is removing it. Both hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide were present in the clouds too. These immediately react together and are not usually found coexisting unless some process is churning them out continually. Most mysterious is carbonyl sulfide's appearance because this is only produced by microbes or catalysts on Earth and not by any other inorganic process. The researchers' suggested solution to this puzzle is that microbes live in the Venusian atmosphere. Venus's searingly hot, acidic surface may be prohibitive to life, but conditions in the atmosphere are more hospitable and moist 50 kilometers above, with a temperature of 70 degrees Celsius and pressure similar to Earth. Number 6. 2002. Russian scientists argued that a mysterious radiation-proof species of microbe might have evolved on Mars. In 2002, Russian astrobiologist claimed his theory that super-hardy Deinococcus radiorans evolved on Mars. These microbes can survive several thousand times the radiation exposure that would kill a human. The Russians liquidated the bacteria population with enough radiation to kill 99.9%, allowing the survivors to repopulate before repeating the cycle. After completing 44 rounds, it took 50 times the original exposure of radiation. They calculated that it would take several thousands of these cycles to make basic microbe E. coli as resilient as Deinococcus. While on Earth, it takes between 1 million and 100 million years to meet each dose of radiation. Therefore, they claimed that there had not been enough time in the 3.8 billion year history of life on Earth for such resistance to have evolved. By difference, the surface of Mars, unprotected by a compact atmosphere, is bombarded with so much radiation that the bugs can receive the same dose in just a few 100,000 years. The researchers argue that Deinococcus's ancestors were thrown off Mars by an asteroid and fell to Earth on meteorites. Other experts are still skeptical about this idea. Number 5. 2001. The red tint of Jupiter's moon, Europa, was due to frozen bits of bacteria, which also advocates the mysterious infrared signal it gives off. In 2001, NASA researchers suggested that alien microbes might be behind Europa's red tinge. Though the surface is mostly ice, data reveals that it reflects infrared radiation in an odd manner. That indicates that something, magnesium salts perhaps, are binding it together. But no one has been able to uncover the right combination of compounds to make sense of this data. Intriguingly, the infrared spectra of a few earthly bacteria, those that grow in extreme conditions, fits the data as well as magnesium salts. Plus, some are red and brown, perhaps explaining the moon's reddish complexion. Though bacteria might find it challenging to survive in the inadequate atmosphere and negative 170 degrees Celsius surface temperature of Europa, they might survive in the warmer liquid interior. The geological activity could then spew them out periodically to be flash frozen on the surface. Number 4. 2001. More rigorous calculations connected to the 1960s Drake equation implies that our galaxy might contain hundreds of thousands of life-bearing planets. In 1961, U.S. radio astronomer Frank Drake produced an equation to help estimate the number of planets entertaining intelligent life and capable of communicating with us within the bounds of this galaxy. The Drake equation multiplies collectively 7 factors, including the formation rate of stars like the Sun, the fraction of Earth-like planets, and the fraction of those on which life grows. Many of these figures are open to universal debate, but Drake himself estimates the final number of interacting civilizations in the galaxy to be about 10,000. A more rigorous estimate of the number of life-bearing planets in the galaxy by using new data and theories came up in 2001 with a figure of hundreds of thousands. For the first time, the researchers calculated how many planets might lie in the habitable zone around stars, where water is liquid and photosynthesis is possible. The results suggest that an inhabited Earth-like planet could be as close as just a few hundred light-years away. Number 3. 1996. Fossils on Mars are discovered in meteorite ALH 84001 from Antarctica. In 1996, NASA scientists controversially announced that they had found what appeared to be fossilized microbes in a potato-shaped piece of Martian rock. The meteorite has probably blasted off the surface of Mars in a collision and rambled through the solar system for some 15 million years before falling into Antarctica, where it was discovered by scientists in 1984. The careful analysis explained that the rock contained organic molecules and tiny specks of the mineral magnetite sometimes encountered in Earth bacteria. Under the electron microscope, NASA researchers also alleged to have spotted signs of nanobacteria. However, since then, much of the evidence was challenged. Other experts have suggested that the particles of magnetite were not related to those found in bacteria after all. Contaminants from Earth are the source of the organic molecules. A 2003 study also revealed how crystals that resemble nanobacteria can be grown in the laboratory by chemical processes. Number 2. An Ohio State University radio telescope noticed an unusual radiation pulse from someplace near the constellation Sagittarius. The 37-second-long signal was so astonishing that an astronomer monitoring the data scrawled "Wow" on the telescope's printout. The signal was within the band of radio frequencies where transmissions are internationally banned on Earth. Furthermore, natural causes of radiation from space usually cover a more comprehensive range of frequencies. As the nearest star in that direction is 220 million light-years away, either a massive astronomical event or intelligent aliens with a powerful transmitter would have had to have created it. The signal remains unexplained. Number 1. 1976. The Viking Mars landers detect chemical signatures indicative of life. Tests performed on the surface of Mars began right after our venture to the Moon. Samples collected by NASA's Viking landers hinted at chemical evidence of life. One experiment mixed the soil of Mars with radioactive carbon-labeled nutrients and then tested to produce radioactive methane gas. The test turned out to be positive. The radioactive methane production proposed that something in that soil metabolizes the nutrients and produces this radioactive gas. But other experiments on board failed to find any proof of life, so NASA reported the result to be a false positive. Contrary to that, one of the original scientists and several others who have since reanalyzed the data still stand by the initial finding. They argue that the other experiments conducted later were ill-equipped to search for evidence of the organic molecules, a fundamental sign of life. That was all for our journey to space to discover alien life. If you enjoyed it, make sure you drop a thumbs up and share your views on the existence of aliens. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to turn on notifications for all future videos. We are here to bring you the freshest and most unique content. Thank you for watching until the next video. Goodbye.